We have some breaking news right now. Police are at Cane Ridge High School. They're looking into what they're calling a suspicious package. Officers are directing drivers to other parts of the school's parking lot right now as they look into what that package may be. Blake Rosnowski is headed there right now. We're going to check in with her for some updates as soon as we get them. And we're going to keep our eye on what's going on with this situation. And you should keep your eye on our website because we'll constantly update the information there.
And breaking overnight, a man is rushed into surgery after he was stabbed and left to fend for himself on the side of the road. Metro police say the man was in the car with a female friend when they got into a fight, and she stabbed him in the chest. Then she forced him to get out on the side of 440. The man was able to get help and was taken to Vanderbilt, where he's in surgery now. The woman who stabbed him has not been identified. And happening today, the Vanderbilt rape case could finally come to an end.
A lot of people have been waiting on some conclusion to this. And News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy is live from the Birch Building downtown. And Dan, the fourth and final defendant in this case is going before a judge this morning.
Yeah, it goes before a judge in just about 2 hours, and at that point we're going to know if there's any kind of plea deal on the table for Jaborian Tip McKenzie that has been arranged between him and his attorneys and the district attorney in exchange for his testimony against some of his former teammates. McKenzie will be walking through these doors at 9 o'clock. He's been involved in this case since the beginning and has testified against his former teammates. All documents in this case, though, against him are sealed, so we don't yet know what exactly is going to happen after this morning's hearing. It has been a long, painful 5 years for the victim, especially since it was about 5 years ago since the former Vanderbilt football players were charged with raping a student in a dorm. Brandon Vandenberg, Corey Beatty, Brandon Banks, those are all some of the names of the others who have since been convicted of multiple charges, including aggravated rape, and they are all serving each at least 15 years right now in prison. So we're going to be inside in just a little under 2 hours right now. We're going to be streaming it live on newschannel5.com and on News Channel 5 Plus, and have continued coverage throughout the day for what exactly happens next for Jaborian McKenzie. Reporting live downtown, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
And as Dan said, we will be streaming that hearing on News Channel 5 Plus right here on this channel and newschannel5.com. Make sure you join us starting at 4 o'clock this afternoon on News Channel 5 for additional coverage. We'll be able to break down exactly what happened in court for you. The man accused in this crash is expected to plead guilty today. This is that video that had a lot of you talking. Marshall Neely will be in court at 9 o'clock this morning. Police say he was driving on Natchez Trace last year when he hit a bicyclist and then kept going. The bicyclist wasn't injured, but the entire crash was caught on a helmet cam.
It was a deadly weekend on the roads, though. There were 3 deadly crashes across Middle Tennessee.
2 of them were involving motorcycles. 21-year-old Benjamin Wilson is charged with vehicular homicide after hitting a man in Clarksville. This happened early yesterday morning on North 2nd Street. Wilson was turning onto Riverside Drive and did not yield to an oncoming motorcycle. The 25-year-old rider, Diamond Dillard, died on the scene. And we just confirmed Dillard was a coach at Kenwood High School. So really terrible for those students going to school this morning, finding out that he was killed over the weekend. And many people are posting their condolences on social media this morning, sharing their heartbreak for the loss of someone who's been a mentor to their kids. Another motorcyclist was killed yesterday when he ran into a car. This happened on Elm Hill Pike near Spencer Lane in Nashville. Police identified that motorcyclist as 51-year-old Roger Dansby. The driver of the car says he didn't see him, but police are still investigating. Another person was killed and a little boy hurt after a crash in Rutherford County. This happened Saturday night on Panther Creek Road in Eagleville. Troopers say Lindsay Brogdon was speeding when she went into a ditch. She was thrown from the car when it flipped, and the child in the car was hurt, but thankfully was wearing a seatbelt, so it could have been even worse.
And happening now, a gunman is on the run after killing a man in Clarksville. It happened just before midnight Saturday near Bob's Discount Tobacco on Providence Boulevard. Officers found the man who was shot behind the store. He later died at the hospital. If you have any information, call 931-645-TIPS.
Police also trying to find a gunman after a shooting in North Nashville. The 53-year-old victim was found at 11th Avenue North and Jefferson Street just before 3 yesterday morning. He was shot in the leg and stomach, but is expected to survive. A man who lives across the street says he heard 5 gunshots.
There was a guy that was coming from the backside of my building because I live across the street, and he told me somebody got shot. and I looked across the street, and there was a guy like rolling around on the ground.
Police are trying to figure out who shot that man and why he did it.
And as we get closer to Memorial Day weekend, emergency crews are making sure that they are prepared for busy days on our lakes and our rivers. Metro's Office of Emergency Management performed a body recovery exercise with its canines at Percy Priest Lake yesterday. It's hard for them to have to do this, but it's necessary. Crews place those training devices in the water, and after the dog finds the strongest smell, it alerts its handler by sitting or putting a paw on them. But prevention is important too, of course. Crews remind you to keep those life jackets on and wear one if you're concerned about your ability to swim.
Whether you're a fisherman on a boat, you're a kid playing in a kayak or swimming in a water, even a protected swimming area, if the water's dark like our lakes and streams are around here in rivers, please have a life jacket on, then we won't have to come and find you.
Metro's Office of Emergency Management has 12 canines to help with searches. And spring thunderstorms hit part of Middle Tennessee yesterday. A tree fell on this home in West Meade, causing the roof to collapse. Strong wind ripped off part of the roof at a gas station in Bellevue, and a tree also hit a car in that same area. At one point, almost 6,000 people across multiple counties were without power. NES just gave us an update on their restoration efforts. The utility says there are about 600 customers still without power. In all, 9 utility poles need to be repaired or replaced, and the hardest hit neighborhoods were Bellevue, Belle Meade, and West Meade.